Yo, what's good? This your boy JTL. This another episode of Red Pill. Respectfully, like y'all seen in the beginning, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Alright, so here we go with a couple young hood rat sisters who don't know no better and think it's okay. I'ma just get into it. Y'all see the title.
There's a big post we're supposed to hear about this woman who gave up her relationship for her own fans account. So from the looks of it, the video, if you've seen the video, the couple are arguing, and she wants to know, the woman wants to know why her boyfriend broke up with her. And he says, because you made an OnlyFans account and I told you not to. And then she says, so are you gonna pay my bills? And then the video cuts out. So that's what you've been seeing on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter. So.
Right. So a lot of the responses are basically centered around, who's right, who's wrong. Mm-hmm. So instead of acknowledging both sides, people are just picking a side. And so, men are typically saying, okay, I don't want a girlfriend with an OnlyFans account. It's okay that he doesn't want to date somebody that's an OnlyFans account. They don't want to date sex workers, and they have certain standards, and they are allowed to offend.
Yeah, and for me, because my realm is more so Facebook, and then the Facebook group is where I saw it first, and a lot of the comments were basically focused on the woman had a point, he wasn't gonna pay her bills, right, and he was not paying her.
Now, y'all don't worry, I'm definitely gonna go in. I just want y'all to hear the foolishness in the beginning before I go in when they start making the comments.
Bills, and that's what most of the conversation was centered around. And then the men were saying, well,
Twitter is pick me territory. Yeah, so a lot of girls aren't gonna say, even though it's what they think, and that's not what they're gonna say because they're scared to get dragged.
But on Facebook, anything goes. If you ain't been there, anything goes. So, a lot of men were saying, women shouldn't be wanting to do this and should be having higher standards. And what about when this man said, what about when your daughter asks about where they got their toy from or something, and then you have to explain it to her?
My daughter gonna pay $35 to see her OnlyFans account?
The women was like, so when do children ever ask where their stuff come from? Yeah, kids don't care.
No.
Kids don't.
I ain't got kids, but I know.
Alright, so they talking about kids, this and that. Man, y'all know how it go. Sadly, y'all can tell y'all looking at hood boogers who don't know how to see further than what's in front of their face. Which, a lot of brothers, a lot of men in general, we have to start seeing what's further than what's in front of our face. Because we know a lot of people that, especially our people, we know a lot of people that do stupid stuff and don't realize you might be blessed to live over average. You might be blessed to live longer than 15, and it's gonna come back to hunt you if you've been in prison before. But keep going.
But then we get into that word standards, men and their standards.
Period.
It's weird. Men and their standards.
It's crazy what they want to set a boundary for.
Yeah.
It's crazy the things that they choose to have a standard about. I'm not a man, so.
But
I'm confusion.
But I'm confused because OnlyFans accounts and standards, I don't know how having an OnlyFans
equates to low standards.
Right. Women are devalued once they create an account. You log in your information and you are now a prostitute.
Right. And I keep making a point. There can be a girl having the same number of partners, having the same amount of sex for free every day, in and out on the streets doing her thing, And the moment that a girl gets online and does it, now she's a criminal, even though might have less partners. And actually, she can just be doing solo videos. She can be sending feet pics. You don't have to have sex on OnlyFans. You can sell anything. So how does that, like, if she's over there doing it for free and she's over there doing it for money, I don't understand how they standards are different. If anything, you should like.
See, when they was talking about that video, y'all might have to Google it because they're not showing it on here. But this is the thing. We're not talking about females who have OnlyFans accounts, you know what I'm saying, and they're single and they're hoes. We're not talking about them. We're talking about a woman who was with a guy in a relationship and did it. And that's what they're not acknowledging. We're not talking about a female that's doing it and don't have a boyfriend. We're talking about a woman that was with a dude and she went and did it anyways. This is what I'm saying. Somebody not acknowledging it and being, like they say, disingenuous. You talking about a female now that doesn't have a boyfriend versus the video you're talking about where a female had a boyfriend. So if we talking about a female that doesn't have a boyfriend and is doing this, she's most likely messing with a guy who does not care. That's why you see a lot of dudes, if a woman is doing that with a guy on there and not necessarily showing his face, he don't care because that's not his woman. And that is less than 1% of guys in the world that's cool with that. But okay.
She got an entrepreneur spirit. Like, you should like that. She's getting some money. And like Pornhub is
Entrepreneur spirit or entrepreneur. But go ahead.
A whole industry. Like, who do y'all think these women are behind these cameras?
I guess
They're mediocre friends. The women behind the cameras that you've been yelling out can't be.
But the thing is, a lot of guys are saying that we're gold diggers, we're this, that, the other. When we seek out relationships, we don't build. I saw another post the other day saying that women don't build, they just move in. So, like, according to you all, we don't make money. We only want guys with money. We don't have anything. But if these are the people with money, clearly these are the girls buying houses, cars. Like, they have the finances, but those are the ones that you don't want to date. But you keep saying that you're standing.
Okay, but see, you're saying these are the girls that's buying houses. The girls that's buying houses from doing OnlyFans is not on the average. From my understanding, it's like hundreds of thousands of women that's doing OnlyFans, but it's the same thing for as billionaires. It's less than 1%. So to say you don't want those girls, guys are talking about the same thing we've been saying for all these decades and, you know what I'm saying, then a century now. It's like, why would you trust somebody like that? You know what I'm saying? And let me play devil's advocate. If, okay, say I'm a guy and I'm dating a woman, right? And I'm a male thot. And I don't want a woman like that. If I'm trying to change my life and I want to settle down and do something better, why would I date somebody like me that's going to keep me doing the same thing? Like, that's the thing we got to think about. Guys saying that, a lot of those guys want to make a change in their life. It may be hard. You heard Usher's song, Bad Habits. It can be hard. It's a bad habit you got to break. But if I date a woman, she's doing the same thing, and she's doing the same thing of a habit that I want to break, it's not going to help me. I mean, that makes sense.
There is a girl who has something going for herself. That's something going for yourself.
With that being said, we always accept two things can be true at the same time. So, our collective viewpoint is that of many. I was telling her earlier, like, we understand that people set boundaries in their relationships, and that's between them two. We don't have anything to say about that. We don't. So we feel like they're both valid. If he don't want to date a sex worker, assuming that she is, because just because you do OnlyFans does not mean that you're a sex worker. But If he doesn't want to date a sex worker, he doesn't have to. And if she wants to make her money the way she wants to make her money, she can do that. And those things clash in relationships. This thing is a valid argument, but don't think that this conversation is not about women, the policing of how they choose to make their money, and also entering into relationships where men respect what they do. Because that's a lot of what we're seeing. We're not having a conversation about, why did he feel like he had to say, no, you can't have an OnlyFans account. Like, where does that come from?
I mean, I don't know, because I was asking myself the same question. Like, we have this has been made apparent time and time again on social media, especially Twitter, because that's just where I'm at most of the time. But I have never once seen a role reverse. I have never once saw a woman say, I will not date him because he has an OnlyFans. And I mean, men do have OnlyFans. I don't know why people don't think that, but men do have OnlyFans.
Okay, so the one on the right said something that made sense. A man don't have to, a woman don't have to. But the problem is, I agree with that, but the problem is, now you saying you don't see a woman saying that. But that's because this is fresh. This just happened middle of last year. But over all these years, we've heard women say, I won't date a man that's broke. I won't date a man that got a bunch of kids. Now you saying a woman is not saying that, but you're not hearing a woman say, I should date a guy that has an OnlyFans account. Because there's not that many men that have an OnlyFans account as women. As a woman, let's keep it real. Women can do a lot more things than men can do. A man can be out of shape, a woman can be out of shape. But guess what? Unless a man out of shape got money, he still can't do what a woman who's out of shape can do. That's just the truth. But let's talk about it. Where are the women that say, I'll date a man who has an OnlyFans account because I got an OnlyFans account? So these hood boogers can't see past 5 feet of their eyes and think that, like, okay, well, I think a woman who has an OnlyFans account or wants to have one should only date guys that's willing to do that, guys that's out there. That's just like, guys, if you don't want to date a stripper, don't. But let a stripper date a stripper. So the guys that do the whole, you know what I'm saying, dancing bears or, you know what I'm saying, male review, he should only date a woman that's a stripper and doing the same thing. But if you notice, strippers, male or female, crazy male or female, want to date regular people. So on this red pill thing, respectfully, that's what we should talk about. Just like I'm thinking, like I said on last show, Quavo, since he had enough smart to leave Sweetie alone, all right, cool. She should date somebody who crazy like her. Lil Uzi Vert dating JT from City Girls and Southside dating Young Miami from City Girls should have each other because they're crazy. So whoever does OnlyFans should date only people that do the same things. Scrippers, porn stars, sex workers, whatever you want to call it, should only date each other. I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. Y'all give me y'all comments what you think. And shout out to the Poor Man's Podcast because that's where I seen this from. And just like him, we trying to get up on our subscribers. So y'all go ahead, help a couple brothers out. Me and my partner HD, this your boy JTL. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. We'll be back with more things that make sense. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully.